What's good? Welcome back to another edition of Dat Talk Podcast. I go by the name of Bacon. I got my co-host with me.
It's the guy they love to hate. Mr. Too Many Reasons himself, baby. You feel me?
So why they love to hate you, man?
Because I feel after watching something today, I realized that not everybody's gonna like you. So you feel me? Somebody's gonna dislike you.
So you just automatically assuming somebody's out there right now hate reasons?
Yeah. How I feel.
Well, I know why they hate you, because you was right, my friend. You was right about the Atlanta Hawks. I was completely shocked to see ice cold Trey, who didn't even have an ice cold game, just played pivotal moments in the fourth quarter of Game 7 in Philadelphia to send Philadelphia home, man. How do you feel about ice cold Trey? And was that was that his coming out game to let the world know that this man is going to be one of the best players to play this game?
I feel like it's a twofold situation. I feel like Trae Young didn't have a great Game 7 statistically as far as shooting, but his impact was there. So I can't say it's like a coming out party because I don't think he really made like a statement. I like how the Hawks won that game as a team. You got to give a major shout out to Kevin Huerter. The boy said, Seth, you're too small. You about to get all these buckets today. And he had a coming out party. I mean, he ain't put a stamp on a game and he about to not become like no all-star or nothing, but he had a game, because if you look at the stat line, he was struggling throughout the course of this series. He was there, then he wasn't. He was there, then he wasn't. He was real, up and down. But for him to show up and pick up the slack in Game 7 was real big for them. But me, my attention, because like I said, I picked the Hawks based on the fact that Embiid probably wasn't going to play, right? So that was my heading in. Embiid not healthy. The Hawks was running high, but I had to stick with my conviction. And as the series unfolded, I started saying, well, these boys can play with them. Because it goes back to what we talked about on our last show. Ben Simmons played 7 fourth quarters and took 3 shots. Yeah. But he shot 100% with those 3 shots. He was 3 for 3 in 7 games in 7 fourth quarters.
Stop with the 100% stuff.
Yeah, I'm just that's the positive. So that, just like I said, man, it's just disappointing. I'm disappointed in Doc Rivers. I'm disappointed in Ben Simmons. So much respect to Embiid and what he did. I'm disappointed in Tobias Harris, because every time we think Tobias is turning that corner, every time he just disappears again. Just like he just don't exist. It's like everybody talks about Tobias and how good he is and his tool bag and all that kind of stuff. And then right now was for him to really pick up the slack, because Ben wasn't giving him nothing. Embiid just needed a solid number 2, not a spectacular number 2, a solid number 2. And the man couldn't even get that. So shout out to the Hawks, ATL, Lemon Pepper Lou, Magic City is going up.
I mean, I do want to give the Hawks credit. A lot of times we always we point light at the team and the deficiencies and how they lost it, instead of recognizing, hey, the Hawks played an amazing series. They never gave up. They never quit. And they got a great leader. They got a great coach, and they got a great leader. Here's my thing about the whole Philly. When I knew that the game was close, I said Philadelphia may lose this game. Because in my opinion, you win a big game in Game 6. The Hawks shouldn't have no confidence, right? But they came out blazing. They came out shooting. Trae Young played horrible. You would have thought if Trae Young had the numbers he thought, the Hawks would be down 30. But the rest of them played, and they didn't let the game get out of hand. They weathered the storm from Philly, runs that they had. But at the end of the day, they true to themselves, and they kept playing. And then Trae Young hit a big 3 that gave them a little bit more confidence. They almost did what they almost did in Game 1, gave the game away. But they found a way to keep it. My thing with Philly, and I get it, they want to blame Doc Rivers. I understand that. I get it. He's the coach. It sucks that it's got to be him. But at the end of the day, man, I put a lot of this blame on the players. I put a lot of this blame on Tobias Harris. I put a lot of this blame on Ben Simmons. Embiid, he came out there, did the best he could, but he made some pivotal mistakes down the stretch too, losing the ball, bad shot selection, not living in the paint. He bailed out the defense a lot of times too in critical situations. And what the Hawks did, they went and they utilized their strengths. They utilized their strengths down the stretch. Philly didn't. And then Ben Simmons, man, hey, look, we all know what he got to do. I don't know if he's going to be in Philly remaining. It was crazy when one of the reporters said, do you think this is your last game in Philadelphia? Like, bro, it's like the writing's on the wall. Like, they're probably about to get rid of you, dog. Like, you're not what people thought you was. And that goes to show you can be high, because Ben Simmons was going like this. He came in, he was making a name. He was a prolific all-star, a two-way player. They was comparing him to LeBron James. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was relationships. I don't know mindset, but he started going downhill this way. And I just think he needs to put in that work. He said he's going to work on his game. I don't know why it takes 6 years to say you got to work on a shot. I don't understand that. But hey, shout out to Atlanta. They send Philly home. I think Philadelphia had everything to do with this collapse. Even though Atlanta played great, they had two. They blown a 29-point lead and they blown an 18-point lead. The game should have went to 5. But with Philly lack of execution and a lack of finishing and completing the game, they're going home, man. I feel bad for Embiid, man. He just need one more player, one more consistent player, and he just ain't had that.
And before we move on, do you think Embiid kind of living outside the paint kind of attributed to his knee? Because, in the paint, your feet work got to be, kind of A1 at times. And, one little, like I said, one little tweak here and there. If you step wrong in the post, it can get bad on that knee. And I'm just speaking from experience.
No, I hear you. But when I saw Embiid doing some spin around dunks and stuff, I was like, nah, I don't want to hear all that.
Okay.
But when you coming out here dunking, looking at people, and doing your post move, nah. Now, if I didn't see that, then I would have been like, you're 100% right. But he lived in the post. He just chose to live in the three-point line in the mid-range in pivotal situations. See, one thing, it's not all, I always tell people, getting in the post, it's not always about scoring. When Embiid's in the post, Philly is at their best because they either going to help or he's going to get a bucket. And that frees it up for a lot of other players. And when he lives on the outside, it hurts Philly because now there's no penetration. There's nobody getting easy buckets. They're not going to double you out there. They're going to live with that. And that's when you play to the strengths of the Hawks instead of the strengths of your team. And that's what I didn't like about Embiid. When he went down there, the man was a walking bucket. Every time he got the ball down there, he could score any time. When it was 3 to 4 minutes in the game, he chose to want to shoot 3-pointers, mid-range, and do extra stuff. And, they're at home. So it is what it is, man. Now, this was a big game. This was probably one of the best games in the playoffs. Game 7 between Giannis and Kevin Durant. I mean, they gave it everything they got. You seen it. It was like their Gatorade sign was on throughout the fourth and in overtime. But it was one of those things where you thought the Bucks were about to pull away, and then Kevin Durant was an inch, like not even an inch, maybe like his big toe away from sending Milwaukee and the Bucks home. But unfortunately, it was a 2, and he just didn't have nothing left. I know a lot of people say, hey, he could have went by Drew Holiday and got a 2, but hey, man, that man said, I'm trying to get this game over with. Hey, I'll take this and I'll live with this. How do you feel about the whole game 7, the back and forth, and what does it do for Giannis' legacy moving forward?
I felt like Coach Bud was in the hot seat again because Drew Holiday was struggling. Jesus. We were talking in the chat, and I'm just like, I wouldn't say benching. You got to take the man out. I don't know. The man didn't have confidence. He shot a 3 in the corner in the first half to hit the side of the backboard, and he was wide open. Put a Paul George. I was like, bro, what's wrong with you today? So I was worried, but Drew stepped up, clutch late in that fourth quarter. He hit a couple of big threes. He hit a couple of mid-range. He did his thing. Giannis, I guess he saved his legacy by winning, but for him not to be guarding KD in the fourth with at least 2 or 3 minutes left, I just can't respect it, man. That last possession, we knew where the ball was going. It wasn't even like, maybe they used KD as a decoy and give it to James Harden. If Harden was healthy, possibly. But we all knew where the ball was going. So for you, the reigning defensive player of the year, not to say I'm going to go guard KD, because if he hits this shot over me, I can live with that. I don't like that. I don't like that Budenholzer didn't say Giannis go get him. But again, it's a player thing, because when we think about it, man, the greats that on the perimeter, the LeBrons back in his real youth, you feel me? When D Rose was going off, what LeBron say? I got him. I control this. Don't worry about it. And that's what LeBron did. The Kobes, the Jordans, just those players on that level, KG, just those players on that level when these moments are big and you know you got a superstar over there, you got to go guard that man to make that shot even more difficult. So, shout out to KD for leaving it all out on the court. The man played every single minute of a double overtime game, and he just didn't have enough help. And I mean, James had to pull a hammy, but again, game on the line, elimination game. James is now currently 1-7 in elimination games. And in those games from the 3-point line, he's 17 for 82. And I know we can look at this game and be like, all right, he was hurt. But when you start factoring this game with his history, it don't look good, bro. It don't look good. And now he's about to turn around and play in the Olympics, which makes it even more of a head scratcher. Like, no wonder homie said, well, he got a whole month. Well, he had a whole month off before he re-aggravated, if I'm not mistaken, right? So why not take this time to heal up, get that hamstring healthy, get your body back right, and get ready for next season? I understand playing for the Olympics is an honor and, represent your country. Like, all that's big. I get it. But you got to think about the task at hand. I can see KD. Remember, KD missed the whole year. So he just in hoop mode. So I respect that. But James, I don't know, bro. I'm just a little worried right there.
I mean, I hear all that. I know a lot of folks always say bench him, sit him on the bench. But when you sit somebody on the bench and you bring somebody in, probably don't have the confidence, they don't have the experience. Maybe he maybe provide you an offensive spark, but on the defense, he's a liability. And you also lose another ball handler on the floor. And one thing I saw when Drew Holiday is on the floor, he is another ball handler. Giannis and Middleton struggles on the fast break when it comes to ball handling. The only way Giannis is great is when he got a full lane ahead of him and nobody's in front of him. When somebody even makes a jab at him, that boy would lose that ball. He has unpluckable on nothing. That boy get plucked easily. Okay. Now, here's my thing. With KD, he played amazing. And now you see how hard it is to be somebody like LeBron James, to get people to play. Like, I always tell people this, like, y'all always get on LeBron, and I get it. LeBron and KD plays differently, but they still have both of them have the ability to control the pace of the game. And there comes a time when your other players, we saw it. The first time when KD went off, Jeff Green helped him, and then he finished it home. The second time KD went off, nobody helped him. Nobody helped them. All right. They had some lucky shots go in, but nobody helped them. And even in the last, Blake did all right, but I'm saying in the last, Blake fouled out. Blake had fouled out, so he wasn't a help for him. And then here's my thing. Even in the last second, when KD gave the ball to James Harden, James Harden said, hell no, it's your team, bro. I'm just here. And I felt for KD, but I think KD now knows what it means to be LeBron James. And why LeBron gets how he gets sometimes, he's like, God damn, I can't do everything. I can't rebound, assist, lead, and score, and y'all still can't get a bucket? Like, come on. For me, that would be discouraging. It's like working at a job, and y'all get a project, and you doing all the work, and then and you just need them to just, like, say, for example, let's say you're having a potluck, and you cook all the food, All you need them to do is bring some cups. And then they can't even bring no cups. They're like, I forgot the cup. What? You forgot the cups? Bro, that's all you had to do was bring the cups. And Joe Harris, man, he just let him down. He had so many wide open looks. He just wasn't ready for the moment, man. And that pressure, that moment isn't for everybody. Even James, he didn't want that moment. KD lived for that moment. And if his big toe wasn't in the way, you may see the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals. Because I don't think
big toe is not in the way. That's a commercial.
Exactly. I think that's a big time commercial. And for Giannis, here's my thing with Giannis, man. I give him credit. He played his butt off. But one thing I'm seeing about Giannis that is very discouraging is that heart. His heart, the ability, because it didn't have to get there. They was up by 5. All he had to do was get one rebound. KD missed, and he let my man Brown jump over him to get the rebound, and all he needed was that one rebound. And I said that. I told my boy Jay, I told y'all, I said that rebound may be the difference maker. And Brooklyn made a run off of that rebound because they got the ball back. KD made a bucket, and then that whole missed shot, the Brook Lopez stuff, that KD pinky toe, big toe away from sending them home. If Giannis get that rebound, you just saw him. Like even KD was tired, but you never saw him in the mode where like Giannis. Giannis was like, this is it. And I don't like that. Don't show me that you defeated. Wait till after the game to be defeated. And I'm starting to see that Giannis can be great, but I think he don't have that heart to be great. I think he shy away from those big moments to be the great one. Because again, hey bro, I just beat the best player in the world. I'm not going to be like he the best player in the world. I'm going to say I'm the best player in the world. Hey, we played great. He's a great player, but I'm playing to be that guy. It's just soft. It's soft butter biscuit.
He still is. It's like, yeah. So Giannis, you made the comment that Kevin Durant's the best player in the world. He still is.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But anyway, they're in the playoffs against Atlanta. We'll get into that series preview in just a few. But let's talk about this dude. This dude is on the rise for being an up-and-coming superstar. Damn near has every tool bag in the NBA when it comes to offensive weapon tool bag. Devin Booker is a 40-point triple-double against a fiery. Look, the game was close. The game was back and forth. Shout out to PG. I'm telling y'all seeing a different PG right now. This PG is not. This PG is here. He's number one. I think he loved this. I'll tell you right now. I know he don't wish nothing against Kawhi, but I think you're seeing that the ball moves better when Kawhi's not on the floor. Everybody gets touches. Everybody's getting more involved instead of just ball getting touched and controlled by 2 people, Paul George and Kawhi, and then everybody else may get the ball here and there. That ball is moving. That's making the Clippers a tough team to beat. And I got to give them credit. Even though they didn't win, they played their heart out, but Devin Booker is a superstar in the making. How you feel about this series, man?
Man, D-Book, man. It's just, I feel like, I got the Suns winning. I'm not going to be disrespectful. I'm going to say Suns in 6. Not going to be disrespectful. But I see, even though PG's playing out of his mind, the Clippers need Kawhi. But honestly, if you want me to be truthful, it's not Kawhi that they're missing in this series. It's Ibaka. Because Ibaka allows for them to be able to guard DeAndre Ayton and be able to have a better switch on that pick and roll. Mm-hmm. See, the Suns and Monty Williams understand you're not going to play small against the Suns because DeAndre Ayton going to get his money. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So what is forcing now is the Clippers to have to play Cousins and Zubac. Mm-hmm. So what that means is if D-Book was cooking in a pick and roll, just imagine when Chris Paul gets cleared because he's going to play the series. Yeah. So when CP3 gets there, oh my God, that cook session and that pick and roll is going to be even worse. And that's why they're missing a Ibaka, because Ibaka is still good enough to switch and be somewhat effective. He's not going to be able to control, Chris Paul or Book, not like that, but he's a little bit more effective. And then on top of that, he can space the floor, shoot the 3, be an interior presence when Ayton is down there. So Ibaka gives you something that they need against a team like the Suns. He's a older version of what AD could have did if he was healthy to the Suns. Just give it a little bit more perspective. So, like I said, D Book is here. He, him losing Kobe or the world losing Kobe. And, I just feel like he's just channeling that, because you just got to think about the run he had to end the season, and then the run he had in the bubble, and then what he's been doing. The fact that he didn't make an all-NBA team is disrespectful.
Yes.
You feel me? Because it's just like we're starting to see him on this big stage, but D Book has been cooking for the last 5 years leading to year 6. We just never get a chance to see it. So shout out to D Book.
Yeah, shout out to Devin Booker, man. And it goes to show, like, a lot of people cook when on a losing team, so it gets overlooked. But now he's on a winning team, and he's doing the same thing he was doing before. So people are starting to make notice, and they're starting to appreciate and say, this man is special. This man, two-bag, is extremely special. He has the ability to shoot the basketball extremely well. He has the ability to take over the game, and he can strike at any moment. And even though this was a big game for Phoenix, because they won without their floor general. And even though it was a close game, they still got the W. It don't matter how you win. A win is a win at the end of the day. But I always say the Clippers series don't start until they down 0-2. I'm just going to call it a spade. I'm just going to call it a spade. I don't know what it is about the Clippers going down 0-2. But whenever they go down 0-2, they turn up to another level. I don't know why, but I'm telling you right now, if the Clippers lose today, you're going to see maybe the real Clippers show up. I don't know. I think Phoenix should still win this series, but I know I'm banking on what I'm seeing pattern-wise. 0-2 down against the Mavericks. What they do? Won the series. 0-2 down against the Jazz. What they do? Won the series. 0-1 right now. If they go 0-2 down against Phoenix.
See, but the difference is against the Mavs, they have to deal with one person, Luka. Against the Jazz, they have to deal with one person, Mitchell. Against the Suns, they're going to have to deal with Chris Paul and Devin Booker. And I don't see Chris Paul losing to a Kawhi-less Clippers, because then the narrative switches. Chris Paul gets that label that he can't carry, he can't win. So to me, this series, it's unfortunate that CP is out right now.
Right.
Because this series, as we talked about it, this is one of those legacy-defining series, because there are no big dogs left, really. You feel me? There are no the Nets not there. The Clippers are without Kawhi. You don't know what you're going to get from the Bucks. The Sixers got put out. So this is primed for CP3 to get ring 1 and go ahead and end any discussions on where he belongs in that hierarchy or point guard. So, you feel me? It'd be bad if the Clippers go down 0-2 and they come back and win this series again. It'd be great for the Clippers and Paul George and Ty Lue, but it'd be bad for Chris Paul, because they're not going to look at Devin Booker. They're not going to look at Ayton. They're going to put all that on Chris Paul, and you know how it is, bro. And it's going to be unwarranted, but you know how the NBA and the optics work.
I definitely hear. But let's see what my man Hottakejay got to say about this series per se. Hot Take, you there?
Yes, sir. Give me a second here.
Let's see how the setting's going to be. Talk That Talk Nation. Hot Take. Hot Take.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm doing this.
What to do on time?
Yo, every time I see Hot Takes settings or scenery, I feel like he's in the studio about to drop a 16, dog. I don't know what it is. I just feel like he's about to drop a 16, man.
I don't really get down like that, man. I get cold feet on the mic, but
Hey, Ray, I get the hot 16, the die line vibes also.
Right.
Yeah.
So Hot Take, man. We was just talking about the Clippers and the Phoenix Suns series. I told this is what I said, and I could be completely wrong. I said that the Clippers are not going to show up until they go down 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
Because in every series, they've been playing they're playing all right. But once they go down 0-2, they just turn into a brand new, another team, another gear, and they just won't allow themselves to go home. So if the Clippers go down 0-2 tonight against Phoenix, do you think they can make a comeback and win this series?
Obviously, it's proven that they can come back and they're a counterfighter. But would I say that they can win this series? Probably not. You know, the other two teams had holes in them. You know, the Mavs defensively, Rudy Gobert, the defensive liability that I've, you know, called them out to be. And with the Suns, they don't got those flaws. And so even less Chris Paul, they didn't got caught onto something with campaign. I like what he was doing. And I was just watching Booker highlights right as you guys called my number and got me chimed in. So, I mean, he's looking funky fresh, and I like what Devin Booker's bringing to the table. So I'm gonna say absolutely not. They're not coming back from down 0-2. Not in this one. Count your blessings. It ain't happening.
Who's your prediction for the series? What you got the series?
Well, the series, I think that's a given, man. I think the Suns is just going to be too much for them. So, I mean, you tell me a healthy Kawhi comeback, whether it's CP3 or not. Now we can talk, but they don't. Hey, Reggie Jackson and who's the boy? Terrence Mann Terrence Mann. Like, this is a good story, but no, this is where the show stops.
Jay, I brought up an interesting point that the Clippers are missing Kawhi, but I think not having Ibaka in this series.
Yes. Praise the Lord, bro. I was so juiced for Ibaka because I put a premium on players that can that defend in space. So the same time I stay picking on Rudy Gobert, when Ibaka was in his heyday, you know, he was respectable in space, you know. And even though it ain't Ibaka 5, 6, 7 years ago, you know, he proved in Toronto that he has some juice left. And so, yeah, bro, I'm with you 150%, especially with Chris Paul and Devin Booker eating in the mid-range. For sure. They miss Ibaka, but, you know, hey, he ain't walking through that door. So.
Yeah, I don't. It's crazy that his injury was bigger than what it was. But I heard you say you was looking at Devin Booker highlights. Do you think Devin Booker can be possibly a prolific superstar and maybe even the face of the NBA? Because like Reason said earlier, he said that he's been on a tear. If you look at his last performance going to get into the bubble and then going 8-0 in the bubble, and now what he's doing in the playoffs this year, how do you feel about Devin Booker possibly being that next prolific superstar, maybe even the face of the NBA?
He's going to have some stiff competition. Can he be it? Absolutely. What I've seen from him is elite, supreme offensive skills. It comes down to the rest of it, right? Does the organization make the right moves around him? Do his teammates prove to be reliable and set him up for success? The only questions I really have about him is, you know, because I look at him offensively and I see I don't want to, you know, be blasphemous with Kobe, but I look at him and then I had some early comparisons to Clay when he was coming in the league. And so he has dimensions of both of their games with Kobe and Clay, but is defense and leadership, longevity, and is the organization going to put the right moves around him? All those check marks, absolutely. But he's going to have some stiff competition because there's some other young talent out there that's killing right now.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Now on to the game sevens, the famous game 7 between Brooklyn and the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee skimped out of there by the hair of their chinny chin by if it wasn't for Kevin Durant big toe, they probably would have been sent home in a heroic game-winning shot. But it didn't work that way. And they was able to get it done. And they was able to send, you know, KD home. How do you feel about this game impacting Giannis' legacy? What does this do for Giannis' legacy? He finally got over that one hurdle. He still got more hurdles to get through, but beating Kevin Durant in Brooklyn in the game 7.
Bro, I've been loving Giannis. I was high. I picked them to win, but bro, it did nothing for me. He had a 40-some point game. He did 90% of what he should have did. But bro, like you leaving chance to fate with PJ Tucker and Chris Middleton multiple times, bro. Take the challenge, dude. Take the challenge. He wanted no part of KD. And then even after, I like the respect, you know, you want to call him the, you know, greatest player in the world, like, but multiple times in this moment when he's supposed to be your arch nemesis, no. And all I feel like they did was, it's like, man, I'm 6'4". And if I was supposed, and I went down to the junior high and beat up on some kids and I won by 2, and then I walk away acting like I did something. There was no Kyrie. Harden was on one leg. What did you do? No, nothing. So as optimistic as I was, as high as my convictions were, like, I lost all respect. I'm rooting for Atlanta, but
wow.
to not completely abandon Giannis. I just think that he's misused. Brook Lopez came to play, had a couple key moments at the end, but it's apparent that Giannis is a center and they need to get rid of the coach. And just because I hate when that margin of victory is so close and it's like Budenholzer was finna be out of there, but they get by the hair of their skinny, chin, whatever, and now it's all good. Let's sign him to a 5-year extension. No, absolutely not. So
here's my thing. I will say this. I get where you're coming from. Giannis, it probably didn't do that big of a deal for the legacy. Maybe even did more for Kevin Durant than anybody, right? But here's my thing, though. I know a lot of people always say, fire the coach. But a lot of these teams are centered around the superstars on the teams. Like this, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. There's not a lot of coaches that can dictate like they used to. There's only a few. You got the Popovich, but as you can see, even with the Spurs, there's a lot of disconnect between the players and the coach and Pop. You know what I mean? And then even look at the Brooklyn Nets. It wasn't really that much coaching going on like that. It was Kevin Durant is the guy. Kevin Durant gonna figure it out. Kevin Durant gonna get it done for us. And even when you look at the younger kids, Zion Williams, like what happened to Van Gundy? He's a solid coach, but it didn't work because that's not it. The coaches can only do so much. Okay, we're not in that day and age where this coach is going to make it all right. No. The coach is going to play to the personnel. All right, you know what you got when you got a Giannis. All right, a lot of times you may use them in a better way. I can give you that, but eventually Giannis going to do some things that he want to do on his own. Think about it. Look at, and we're going to get on to it in a sec. But think about Ben Simmons. You don't think Doc Rivers want Ben Simmons to score? You don't think Doc Rivers want Ben Simmons to be aggressive? You don't think Doc Rivers want him to do more than just facilitate? Yeah. But what is Ben Simmons going to do? What he wants to do when he's on that floor. And then you heard it in Doc when he said it, like, look, man, we just got to be better. He got a lot to work on. We got to help him out. Doc knows what Ben Simmons' issues was. But the biggest issue about Ben Simmons and a lot of these players, at the end of the day, they're going to do what they want to do because the coaches are trusting.
I got one very specific question just because I don't want to miss this opportunity to ask you this question. We saw KD with his big ass feet cost like almost have a chance to put him away. And then and he brings it to overtime. And then the exact same situation comes up at the end of overtime. And you're telling me that Mike Budenholzer shouldn't be going to Giannis. Obviously, they ain't running no pick and roll. They didn't do it last time. We're going to ride or die with Chris Middleton when we could use your extra 3 inches, your extra wingspan on KD. And he says, nah, I don't want no part of that, right? Like what onus do I have on Giannis to man up himself and the coach to say, no, PJ Tucker, no, Chris Middleton, you go get on him. And they so lucky he ran out of gas. That's the only thing that saved them.
Thanks. Jay, I mean, I echo your sentiments because when I look at it, and Bake, you made a lot of great points about the players and you know, they're gonna kind of do what they want to do. But as a coach, because I think I said in the chat, if I'm gonna get fired because the players is not playing, then I might as well do what is in best interest of me. Yeah. Because the players is always doing the best interest of them. So I got to do what's in the best interest of me. Not necessarily the best interest as me as the person as, but
what you know is the right move, and I'm going to go down swinging with it.
Because if I die on the sword, because me and Jay been talking about this, and my guys been, if I die on the sword of playing to the money, the money gonna get me fired. I'm gonna get my bread because all NBA contracts is guaranteed as a coach. But at some point, as the coach, you gotta move away sometimes from what is conventional. You have to, because the players are not doing what's conventional. So then when we sit down in this ownership meeting and we sit down and I'm sitting there talking to the owners, I'm like, okay, y'all can fire me. But y'all gonna be trading these dudes too? Because it's not like they're not listening. When we walk, I know every NBA room got a game plan, right? Everybody sit down, we got X's and O's, here's what we gonna do, and blase, blase, blah. But the great ones, the players and the coaches understand the moment. And I feel like, and I think Jay could agree with me, Budenholzer and Giannis keep missing the moment. Doc Rivers keep missing the moment. It's not necessarily always, the players need to do what they need to do, but there are moments in basketball games where both the coach and the star have to know, what do we need to do to maximize these moments? It ain't got to be for a full 48.
Exactly.
What Jay is saying, that last shot is a moment for Budenholzer to go to Giannis, or Giannis to go to Budenholzer and be like,
both.
I got him.
Both.
And we're done with that.
They didn't run the pick and roll at the end of regulation. They did the exact same thing, and they got lucky because it was conditioning and it was Steve Nash only playing 6 players.
Here's the thing, man. I hear your points, and you got valid points. Okay, I get it. But those moments, I get it. You want to save for those moments. But when you think about it, when Jordan had those moments, he was on some great teams. He made some big plays. Like, for example, the Karl Malone steal, when he came and he stole the ball. That was a big moment or whatever. He went to go. He wasn't sticking Karl Malone. He just came over. No, hear me out. I get it. Giannis could have went to go stick Kevin Durant. Could have went to go stick him, and he probably would have got scored on because Kevin Durant probably wouldn't have took the shot. He probably would have went to the hoop, maybe got fouled, or got and one. Here's my thing. Giannis did everything that's in his capability of what he's capable of doing. At the end of the day, there was moments where he did stick Kevin Durant, where he did challenge the shot, where the shot went in and the shot didn't go in. That moment right there, yes, I would have preferred him to stick Kevin Durant on that shot, but we don't know what could happen. He still probably would have got dimed on because it's Kevin Durant at the end of the day. But what he did do is he played pivotal in the overtime. He played pivotal in the pick and roll with him and Middleton. They utilized each other. It was like, hey.
How much was I begging for that? I was calling for that 2-man game for a week.
I hear you. They utilized that in the key moment. That got them over the hump. And then Drew Holiday played some heroic defense on what's the name? It's hard to play transitional defense like that. You want to get over there. I can understand if it was another timeout, but it was a transitional defense, a rebound, got the ball, they in transition.
All he did was pay off that debt on that credit card he ran up in game 1 and game 2.
I understand that.
That's all he did.
All I'm saying is y'all got to understand we're not in the old NBA no more. We're not in that time.
Yeah.
Players dictate a lot of the things now in this NBA. Not the coaches. If the players are not happy, then you're out of there. If the players are not satisfied with the coaches, even if you come with your own scheme, if they're like, if the number one guy, like, I ain't rocking with what he's doing, man. I need another coach. You know what the GM gonna do? Get him out of here.
Listen, the players controlling the narrative has been there. You got to think about it. Magic Johnson won a championship in 80, right? They lost in 81. And he didn't like the coach. So what they do? They got rid of him.
Yeah. Exactly.
The players have been controlling this for a minute. The difference is those players through the 80s and 90s understood the moment and wanted the moment. So then they had way more cachet to be like, this coach is a bum. Versus these day and age players be afraid of the moment and then want to get rid of the coach and blame the coach. That's what I can't necessarily respect, if that makes sense.
No, I get that, but we already know This is not the league of the 80s and the 90s. These players, there's only a spare few of players who have that dog mentality where they want to capitalize on the moment, man. And we just got to accept that. We can't keep trying to ask these players to do things that's not who they are. Like the Ben Simmons, like the Giannis's, like the other folks who could be superstars and they choose not to want to take advantage of that moment. That's who they are at the end of the day. We have to live with it. We got to accept it. This is a new NBA. This is a new, nobody like to go inside no more. It's 3-pointers and layups. That's it. So we got to understand that. There's only a few people that use all facets of the game. It's just what it is, bro.
Yeah, we gotta bring basketball back. We're gonna start our own thing. Hashtag bring basketball back.
Well, you know what I'm thinking as you're sitting there talking about some go along, get along. This is just how it is. The stars run the coach out. And I'm sitting here like, and I got a military background. I was in the Air Force for 4 years. And so and I watch a lot of military movies and stuff. And it's like, when the subordinate or the lower ranking officer gets told to do something by the higher ranking officer and it's like challenging his ethics and he don't know what to do. Like he knows the right thing to do, but is this worth, getting in trouble, throwing away your career for? And it's like, and it's different because it's an ethics thing and this is sports. But as I, want to start coaching kids basketball, maybe this is some reasons you can attest to, you know the right thing to do in the moment. And when you got, whether it's the way the game should be played, a tactical move, and it's just like, I'm not playing into those politics. I'm not playing into a star just running the show and he got an ego problem and I got to placate him. Like, no, I don't get down like that. So, and if it costs me my job, it costs me my job.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where I've been in those situations as a coach.
Yeah.
You feel me? With the kids, and I ain't necessarily been coaching superstars, but I've had star kids on my team to where I have to really check my star kids. Like I told y'all, I've been coaching basketball in these situations and I've had good players, and I went through my whole roster in a tournament game in December to get 5 players to do what I need. So that means the 5 starters that started it off, and I had to take them out to get to the players I need to do what I need to do. Was that the right thing? Would most coaches have done that? No, but there's a certain way things got to be done. And like Jay said, you can't always placate to the politics, because if they gonna get rid of me, they gonna get rid of
you anyway.
It depends. It depends, and we'll move forward. But it all depends on what team you coaching, who's responsible for that team. Like if it's a high school or whatever, that's different. But if you coaching the AAU that's being brought by like a Chris Paul and these are these star players, then you gotta no matter what you want to do, they're going. It's not going to work like that.
Maybe I won't be cut out for that.
That's what I'm saying. It's not, and that's the way because that's the way it works right now. You got to find that happy medium of finding that balance to get the players to play how you want, but also get them to feel comfortable to do the things that they like to do as well. Coaching nowadays is not as easy as it used to be because you got a lot more personality. You're dealing with a lot more social media. You're dealing with a lot more things. It's bigger than just X's and O's now. It's bigger than that. And I can attest to that. And so when you come to these new guys, these new eras, a lot of these old-fashioned guys, they're not going to cut it. Even Chris Paul and Monty Williams, they didn't see eye to eye. It took for Chris Paul to get older and mature to be like, all right, I understand now what he wants to do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They found that balance. So coaching is not what it used to be. But anyway, let's move forward to the biggest topic of the day. Ice Cold Trey sends the Philadelphia 76ers home. Who is responsible of the collapse? You go to game 6, you win game 6 in Atlanta. You thinking everything should be good coming back home. And you barely was winning. I think you probably led a couple of times in that game, but for the most part, Atlanta dictate the whole pace of that game. Who's responsible for the collapse of the Philadelphia 76ers? And is it time to blow that damn team up and figure out what you need to do moving forward?
You're talking to me first.
Yeah.
Let me get that. Y'all started right before me. So I'm going to say absolutely, unequivocally, 60% Doc, 30% Daryl Morey, 10% Ben Simmons.
No Tobias Harris in that? No Tobias?
Because if things was running right and he was in the right spot, then they would set him up for success.
Wow.
You know, so like, put it this way, when his ass is up out of there and Tobias Harris, 6'8", 250, is playing the 4 spot like he should be, and the focal point of the secondary, tertiary offensive option, we'll see. But the thing, the snowball just blew up so fast, and it was Ben Simmons' complete lack of anything offensively that was this. But bro, you got to look under the hood, dog. You got to look under the hood. This happened at the trade deadline. This happened in the offseason. They knew this. And as leadership, you gotta see this coming and pivot. So, bro, I'm sitting here, dude. I listened to the post-game interview. Those are the juiciest parts for me. So I listened to the post-game interview, and I'm trying to listen to Ben, and I appreciated him coming up and taking it on the chin. I appreciated him talking about my mental ain't right, and I got to get it right. Bro, what compounded all this? The media just made it worse. This is a psychological thing. This ain't. I look at his release. It may be broke or need to be tweaked, but it ain't. Dude, this is all psychological, and ain't nobody helping him out. People kicking him while he's down, dog. Like, this is bad. This is bad. Joel Embiid, they ain't never been cool. They taking separate flights to the All-Star game. They knew this at the trade deadline. It's their fault. Daryl Morey, Doc Rivers, and yeah, Ben Simmons too. Dude, they could have traded him. Now what is his price? Half of what it was 12 months ago? Go ahead. Go ahead.
You go, Reason. I'm just right now.
I think CJ, I feel like we here, bro.
Thank you.
When I look at it, it's like we're not necessarily blamed. Like Doc, I see when he look at his percentage, I feel like Jay is like 30% Doc Rivers coaching.
No. Get it right. He said 60%,
okay.
Doc.
Can I finish? Wait, hold up.
Okay.
30% Doc Rivers coaching and 30% Doc Rivers as like part of upper management making
the input. Oh, we can win with this.
Yeah, so it's not just all. So I don't think Jay was saying all coaching. So I think it's 30 coaching.
And then he gets on the mic after and
he's non-committal.
Undermines his guy right there on Front Street. Like, you don't have to trade this dude or welcome him back in the offseason.
Hold on. What is Doc Rivers' role as in Philadelphia?
He's a head coach and he has say in personnel.
He's the players coach.
Maker.
He's the players
coach.
Coach.
He's not the decision maker. Right?
Yeah.
No, but he has the head coach got say, right?
He's that coach, right?
Do we got say?
All right. So who paid Ben Simmons $100 million? Doc Rivers?
No, Elton Brand.
So when Doc Rivers came, didn't Ben Simmons already have $100 million?
Already had $100 million. Fine.
So you think, okay, I just want you to, I want to be honest with you. You come into a situation, one of your players is getting paid $100 million. $100
million, yeah.
$100 million. You're the number one team in the East.
Yeah.
Number one team. You gonna say trade him?
No,
honestly, I just want to know.
So here's how this worked, right? Doc Rivers, you came over. Ben Simmons already get $100 million, Jay, right? Mm-hmm. There was a disgruntled superstar in Houston that you could have got rid of Ben Simmons for and did something to get that same disgruntled superstar in Houston and didn't let that man get to Brooklyn. But all y'all, because Jay has been saying it, and I appreciate him, they stuck by their guns because they felt that Ben Simmons was going to become something that he is not. Okay. And because he did not become something he's not, now you sit your ass in Game 7 exit interviews talking about, well, we know he got to get to work, but I we got things to figure out.
Hey, hindsight's always 20/20.
Come on, bro. So, babe, you're not necessarily wrong. Doc Rivers walked into Ben Simmons being $100 million, but Doc Rivers has been around this league for a long time. And if James Harden's on the table, if he's on the table and all it would took was Ben, bye Ben.
They could have added a couple picks to that one, bro. It would have been nothing, man.
That's all we said.
Yeah.
All in. So Doc, Morey, and all culpable.
Come on, bro. All right. Y'all, I get it. Y'all, I see where y'all going with it. I definitely understand that. but y'all not being realistic with yourself. As a GM, as a coach, I can understand if our season was looking horrible. You're the number one team in the East. What logic of mine is going to say I need to trade this man if we're the number one team in the East? I want you to be honest. That's like me saying, yo, my Atlanta Falcons is the best team in the league right now, but I'm going to trade my quarterback because there's a possible chance we may get Aaron Rodgers. There's no guarantee. But now if we don't get Aaron Rodgers, I got to deal with the psyche of me possibly trading my quarterback that helped me get in the number one spot.
Got you. So, because me and Jay just talked about this on IG. Is the regular season a lot different than the postseason? Is it a lot? Answer the question. Is the regular season?
There's no look. There's no regular season. I mean, there's no postseason if you don't do well in the regular season.
Wait, time out. But during the regular season, you're not really game planning. You just going through the motions because you get to play. The Sixers get to play the Cavaliers. They get to play the bottom teams. You get games against the Timberwolves. You get games, you get games to where Ben Simmons looks spectacular because who's to say you're not catching a team on a back-to-back or a 3 out of 4 or a 4 out of 6 night thing to where that team is probably. So you're always going to look good in the regular season.
Tag me in.
Oh, hold up. Let me one more point, baby. You're going to look good in the regular season. Same reason why the Bucks was the number 1 seed for 2 years in a row. And what that got them, they ass sent home. So you're going to always look good in the regular season.
They got hurt.
Go ahead, Jay. There you go.
Jazz number 1 team in the West. Are you considering trading Rudy Gobert this offseason? Or are you going to walk right up into that again?
I don't know if they're going to trade Rudy Gobert.
No, I'm asking, is Bake trading Rudy Gobert? That's the question. Bake coming off the number 1 seed in the regular season, defensive player of the year, is Bake trading Gobert?
Coming off the number 1 seed and Donovan Mitchell is 100%. No, because we will win that series. It's a difference.
What do you think Chris Paul and Devin Booker would have done had they got up out of there?
We would never know. I
don't need to see it to know.
No, see, you like I get it. Y'all like to live by hypotheticals. I like to live by absolutes. I like to live by the game. Let me see the game.
Living in the past and off the names.
No. Let me see the game. No, because you're going based off hypotheticals. Yes, the Jazz didn't play as well as they like, but you got to remember their number 1 star was injured. Their number 1 star still put up 37 in injury, and he made a lot of bad decisions down the crutch. Now, I get it. Rudy Gobert could be an offensive threat, but he's not that. He's not that. You got to understand what you're getting with these players, okay? You don't need that if you got offense from the others. The others didn't score, so now it highlights Rudy Gobert. Now, when you get to Ben Simmons and you get to Philadelphia, I get it. You want to blame Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers going to take some of the blame. I'll give Doc Rivers 30%. But damn, at the end of the day, he benched him. He sat him down. He took him out the game. But again, pivotal moments. Didn't even have nothing to do with Ben Simmons. Thibault, 3, fouled the dude with like 40, 50 seconds on the clock when the dude was shooting the 3. They was down by 2. The shot wasn't going to go in. He shot a bad shot, but he bailed him out. Is that Doc Rivers' fault? Is it okay? Now the next very possession, give the ball to MB at the top of the key. MB's tried to get extra saucy, lose the ball to Gallinari, outlet, dunk. Is that Doc Rivers' fault?
No.
Okay, so at the end of the day, y'all can keep blaming the goddamn coaches, but it comes down to the players. It comes down to Ben Simmons shooting 2 for 4 in a goddamn game 7. That's what it comes down to. That ain't got nothing to do with Doc Rivers. That has everything to do with Ben Simmons. As my coach, I'm going to ride for you. Even when the media was taking this man, coming for his head, Doc Rivers said, hey, we know who Ben Simmons is. He's our player. We know what his role is. Blah, 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 blah. Supporting this dude. Hoping that Ben Simmons will have his back. But you know what Ben Simmons did? He came on the stands and said, it's a psyche goddamn thing. But the game before that, in game 6, We gonna be all right. We gonna go home. We gonna get the job done. And then when you know what he did now, and I wasn't there mentally. No, at the end of the day, Philly lost this series. The players lost this series. They was up 18, game 5. They was up 28. Game 5, they was up 26. There was game 4, they was up 18. Game 5, they was up 29. Game 6, they was winning the whole damn game. And game 7, they came out and they dropped a goose egg. They played good on Trae Young, but the other players played well. And Philadelphia players didn't play that well. They didn't play well. Embiid had a decent game, but he didn't play well. Seth Curry had an okay game, but he didn't play well in pivotal moments. And then Tobias Harris, he's getting some of that blame. Ain't nothing wrong with his ass. He can shoot. He can get to the bucket. Why is Tobias Harris a non-factor in every goddamn key moments of the game? Tell me that. Is that Doc Rivers' fault too? Y'all got to stop this nonsense blaming Doc Rivers. At the end of the day, it's those 5 guys that's on the floor. They didn't get it done. Point blank, period. Yes, the coach is going to take some responsibility for it, but he did some adjustments. He put players out. He took players out. He put players in to try to be successful. The players he put out didn't get it done. They wasn't successful. So they didn't get it done. They lost the game. So telling me that this man deserves 60%, get the hell out of here, man. I'm done. Y'all got it if y'all think that's what it is, but that ain't got nothing. You talking about a man that only took 3 shots in 7 games in the fourth quarter, but it's the coach's fault. It's the coach's fault.
We just want Doc Rivers' energy to be the same after the series.
But at the end of the day,
hey Jay, did Doc Rivers have Ben Simmons back games 1 through 6 in post game?
He sure did.
What happened after game 7? Did he have his back in that post game?
He's deflecting blame is what happened. He said, these people coming from my head, they're going to look at my track records after 08, and they said, look, you know what? Let me go ahead and shoot Ben Simmons this slug right over here and give the media the okie doke so we can talk about Ben Simmons and not my track record. Fact check. Was Maxey playing 1 minute in game 5 when they lost that crucial game? Then he goes to 29 minutes, is plus 12, scored like 20 points. They win by 5 the next game. And then, played as much as he should have game 7. And yeah, could he have played more? But I'm still going back to he played 1 minute game 5 in a close game that he would have been the difference. And then he says, oh, snap, I done messed up. Let me give my man not 12 minutes, not 15. Let's give him 29 the next game.
Did you say close?
That's not Doc Rivers. That's not Doc Rivers.
Come on. Did you say game 5 was a close game? Why was game 5 a close game, Jay? How did it become a close game? Because in my opinion, it was leading in about 24 points in the fourth game.
Tell me why Maxey was not a part of that.
Okay, it was winning by 29, Jay.
But that was the difference in game 6.
Part of it, though.
He went from 1 minute to 29.
Hold on. Think about this, Jay. They was winning by 29 points when him only being a part of 1 minute of that.
So then they counter.
Because
Stuff gets bad. League goes from 29 to 20. League goes from 20 to 15. I better do something. And then turns around and he leaves Maxey on the bench. Like what I'm getting at, why do you have to go home, watch some film?
This is crazy.
You know what? I think maybe Tyrese Maxey over here scoring 40 points in the regular season. He can compliment us offensively. Let's check him in the game. Did you guys not hear Josh Smith go in on Doc Rivers? Y'all didn't catch that?
I watched.
Where's Josh Smith? What if Josh Smith ever won? Okay. I can't stand with
part
players.
of the reason why he didn't because he was on them Clipper teams with Doc Rivers coaching.
Whatever. It sounds good.
Hey, no, Jay. He was on the Rockets team that came back and beat the Clippers team when they was up. But that's another story.
That's fine. That's fine. But he ain't did nothing. It's good. Doc Rivers at least got a chip at the end of the day. What is Josh Smith?
He got a chip at the end of the day. That don't mean he's a good damn coach.
Like at the end of the day, you can say what you want, but without Maxey on that floor, they was up by 29 points. So as a coach, I'm not going to be one of them coaches that gets flustered and say, oh my God, put somebody out there because we bleeding. I'm expecting my team to figure it out. I'm going to make some adjustments here and there, and then I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to play Maxey more to see if we can give us a spark. He did that. In game 7, Maxey was irrelevant. He was irrelevant. He was in foul trouble.
In-game adjustment. It was an in-game adjustment.
He was in foul trouble.
29 points.
He was in
29 points goes down to it. There's no 29-point shot. It goes from 29 to 25 to 17 to 10, and he sat there on his ass the entire time.
Hey, like I said, man, y'all can blame Doc all y'all want. But at the end of the day, it's the players. They got to make the plays. It's all. Chuck said this great, and I know a lot of people don't respect Chuck's point of view when it comes to basketball. He said you can have all them X's and O's all you want, goddammit. It's about who gonna execute. And at the end of the day, Atlanta executed. They executed when it matters, and Philly didn't. Thibault, big foul. That was a huge foul because that ball wasn't going in. He wasn't going to make that shot. You get the rebound. You tied the game. It's tied 90-90. But what did he do? He gave them 3 easy buckets. Now they're up 5. Okay, you give it to your man, Joel Embiid. He's doing too much. Gets the ball stolen. Instead of getting to the point, getting to the post, getting the easy bucket, maybe getting the and one. He doesn't do that. He gets the ball stolen. It goes up by 7. So it's execution at the end of the day. And then you have your superstar getting paid $100 million, going 2 for 4, only taking 3 shots in the fourth quarter in 7 games. You can blame Doc Rivers all you want, but he's on the floor. That is a Ben Simmons thing. And he supported Ben Simmons, but at the end of the day, you got to call a spade a spade. It was, hey, we got a lot to work on. I'm not going to throw him on the bus, but at the end of the day, we got a lot to work on. It is what it is. I'm not giving Doc Rivers 60% of that bullshit. I'm not doing that.
Listen, they asked Doc, can you win a championship with Ben Simmons? Doc said he don't know. That's all I got to say because I got to go. I'm done.
Anyway, man, how did we
out? And I ain't got to worry about Doc, Glenn Rivers bum ass, and Ben Simmons bum ass either.
Hey, he's a center, bro. I'm gonna say this. He's a center. And I'm really, everybody catching on. I throw this out 18 months ago, Ben Simmons for CJ McCollum. Now everybody want to put it in their chat. I said he could be a Draymond Green for Dame, just like, I'm like, oh my God. Didn't I just, Ben said that like 12 months ago.
Draymond Green for Dame? Who?
No. Ben Simmons can play a Draymond Green dimension for Dame the same way Dre does it for Steph. And what I'm really looking at, I was like, CJ fits exactly what they need if you take into account Ben Simmons' diminished trade value. So really, if they swap them two, because now their value is maybe in the same ballpark. And then when you talk about the most confident player in the NBA, that might be Dame right now. They talk about his leadership. I heard Enes Kanter talk about him like he's just like a top-notch first-class leader. And I'm like, if Ben Simmons just caught some of that, rubbed some of that off on him, I'm like, he could be nice in Portland. And let's get it straight. Ben Simmons is a center. And I've never become more clear resonating with that. And you really don't got to look any further than when Ben Simmons lit Gobert on fire in the regular season for like 40-something, when Joel Embiid was out of the game, and then they go expose Gobert. So again, we're going to see how this shakes out. I'm a buyer. If you telling me Ben Simmons is half price, I'm a buyer. There's about 5 teams that should be looking at him right now.
Thanks.
At the end of the day, man, before we get up out of here, how you got the Hawks and the Bucks, man?
Man, I can't buy anything. I think the Bucks is going to win the championship at this point, but I'm so rooting for Atlanta.
So you got the Bucks?
I do.
And what?
5.
Wow. I got the Bucks at 7. I think it's gonna go 7. I think again, I don't know how the Bucks is gonna come out. Tomorrow's game is gonna be big. They're gonna have home court advantage for the first time in this series since the first series against Miami. And so it's gonna be interesting to see how they play. I think their confidence is riding high, but I think Atlanta is a team to be reckoned with. They have a lot of players. They got a great depth, and Trae Young's playing some great basketball. My dynamic is going to be the Drew Holiday and the Trae Young I think Drew Holiday gets a little bit more buckets offensively because now he got a smaller Trae Young, and we know what Drew Holiday do with smaller point guards. Barbecue chicken alert. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look, I got the Hawks in 6. I want Hawks Suns finals. Give me real fireworks. That's how I look at it.
Well, we're going to find out. Y'all let us know in the comments below. How do y'all feel? Who's to blame for the Philadelphia 76ers debacle? Is Atlanta is going to be the team to go to the chip? And could Kawhi-less Clippers go up and win against the Phoenix Suns? Let us know all in the comments below. Always remember to stay safe, stay blessed, and you already know to talk that talk. We see y'all soon.